This video is an overview for crypto airdrop and points news for the week ending March 8th, 2024. This was a huge week for news about airdrops, with several confirmed airdrops, as well as other airdrops that became available to claim or check your eligibility for. Welcome back to Dynamo DeFi. My name is Patrick. As a reminder, nothing in this video is financial advice, and everything in crypto, including airdrops, carries risk, so be sure to do your own research before trying any of these strategies. Now let's get into the video. To start, I want to share that this video is actually based on a weekly update that we do in one of my content brands, CoinBeats. We publish Friday airdrop alpha in our Telegram channel, so I'll link this down in the description, but highly encourage you to check that out if you want to get these updates in the future. All right, so let's see what is going on this week in the world of airdrops and points. First, biggest news is Wormhole, which is the leading bridge from Ethereum to Solana, finally released their eligibility form for their airdrop, and their ticker is W. W like win and also like wormhole, and highly recommend you check this out. Truthfully, I wasn't really even trying to farm this airdrop that much. I did sometimes use bridges that have wormhole just to, as good practice to use bridges without a token, but I wasn't really farming it that heavily, and I was pretty impressed with my allocation. And honestly, my best allocation was on a wallet that was totally just a burner wallet that I used to move some funds from Ethereum to Solana at some point, and it was my best allocation. So highly recommend checking this on all your wallets. If you checked it in the first few hours, then initially they had some issues with checking EVM addresses, so be sure to check again because you might be eligible even if you think you're not. But that's, I would say, the biggest airdrop news of the week, and I'll link all these things down in the description. Second news, and this is probably a close second, is that Kamino, a lending platform on Solana, announced their KMNO airdrop, so the Kamino token. And not only did they announce it, because they have a points program going on right now, they announced that the snapshot is going to be taken on March 31st. And this is pretty, not unheard of, but pretty rare for a protocol that has a points program to announce that the snapshot's being taken in the future. And then not only that, they also announced that the distribution of Kamino tokens is going to be linear. And basically what that means is that for some protocols like Jito, they had tiers where as long as you had over a certain amount, you got baseline of tokens. And then as you had more tokens, basically your tokens per point went down as you had more. Yeah, Kamino's not doing that. They're doing it linear. So really you're just purely pre-farming the token right now. And truthfully, after they did this, their TVL expectedly completely blew up. They're now the largest lending platform on Solana. They gained hundreds of millions of deposits in just a couple days. And I think this is going to be pretty valuable simply because Kamino is so large. That being said, because they announced the snapshot in advance, it's being heavily diluted right now. And now you've got a lot of whales, people you might call mercenary capital, are moving funds in solely to farm this airdrop because they know that it's going to happen, or the snapshot's going to be in a few weeks. Probably the airdrop will be shortly thereafter. So you could argue it's working as a marketing strategy, but just be careful. If you have small amount of funds, then you might it might be tougher to get a good allocation on Kamino now. That being said, we never know if there could be other seasons as well, and you're going to get some kind of airdrop likely if you deposit into Kamino. Next news from this week was Backpack. Backpack is a crypto wallet and exchange on Solana. They're also behind the Mad Lads NFT, the largest NFT collection on Solana. And they announced the first snapshot for their Backpack exchange pre-season will be on March 18th. And don't know exactly what that means. If there's a preseason, I assume they're doing some kind of actual season, but it wouldn't hurt to do some activity before that snapshot if you want to try to qualify for whatever Backpack is doing eventually. Next news is Saga. Saga is a Web3 scalability protocol, and it's tied into the modular ecosystem. They announced their Genesis drop is now live as of a couple days ago, and now this one was actually pretty tough to qualify for. That being said, some of you may have qualified, so be sure to check that out. Now here's a smaller one. We've got this protocol, GRVT. Not too familiar with it, but they're on ZK Sync, and they just announced the Task 4 for their ZK Sync mystery box is live, so check that out. Next up, we have this protocol on Blast, Ambient Finance. So Ambient Finance is a decentralized trading protocol on Blast, and they made some announcements about their distribution of Blast Gold. It's being distributed to LPs. And their liquidity has gone up since they posted this, but if you're using Blast, then you can provide liquidity on Ambient for some Blast Gold. Next up, this protocol, not too familiar with it. It's a social predictions protocol, but they just announced their points season 0 on Guild XYZ. Check that out, limitless protocol. Grass, which I've covered before on this channel, it's a DePIN network for building a data layer and AI. And they tease there's some kind of announcement going on. Now, Grass has this huge points program going on right now, so this announcement might have nothing to do with points or airdrops, something to keep an eye on. Next up, we have Pike Finance. Now, Pike Finance is a cross-chain money market. You can provide collateral on one chain and then borrow on another chain. And they just announced their PIU token allocations for in-app activities as well as rules on their Discord. So check it out here. If you've been using Pike, if you've been participating in their Discord, then you may have a token allocation. Next up, here's something for injective stakers. So injective, popular, fast-growing layer 1 on Cosmos. This protocol, Filament Finance, just announced that their testnet is live. And the testnet, there's whitelist spots for people who have been staking INJ. So if you've been staking INJ, you can use this testnet. No guarantee that results in something, but using testnets often can be a good way to get airdrops. Next up, you have this protocol. I don't know how to pronounce this. Aigisos, I guess. AIGISOS. Basically, they just announced that they are launching a roll app on Dimension. And in their proposal, they also mentioned that they're going to do some sort of what they're calling a roll drop. So presumably an airdrop for Dimension stakers. So keep an eye on that if you're staking Dimension, maybe some other Cosmos tokens as well, because likely you've got an airdrop coming your way. And then finally, Stride. Talked about Stride in my video about using TIA in DeFi. And so Stride has had this ongoing airdrop / yield farming event where you can stake your TIA or other tokens, and then you basically earn the Stride tokens that are unvested. You have to wait a few months to actually receive them. Well, they just did something else that could be helpful for airdrops in the future as well. They created a snapshot repository of cross-chain snapshots of people who are using their liquid staking tokens. And basically what that's going to do is it's going to make it easier for protocols that want to include liquid stakers in airdrops to actually include people who are staking through Stride. So could be a good sign that if you're staking through Stride, you may be eligible for more airdrops in the future. As a reminder, if you want more frequent updates on things like airdrops, points programs, etc., then I have this other content brand I'm running called CoinBeats, and we're providing updates like this on Twitter and in our Telegram group more frequently. And for more videos like this one, be sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, this is Dynamo DeFi.